to the Building One Story at a Time podcast.
We're your hosts. I'm Katie Herbine.
And I'm Stephanie LaChance.
All right, we're diving in. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about our design finishes and details for the Essington model home
At Parkside.
Awesome. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the finishing details that went into that home and then kind of like our design process as we think about how we make those choices and what we want the finished product to look like. So this includes like any plan and architectural options we want to add. Maybe we'll even add in a few things that we wish we could have done or we wish we would have done that we didn't in hindsight, retrospect.
This is one that was like, this was kind of Steph and my first introduction into like actually fully designing the model home, picking all of the structural selections, the elevation, all of the interior finishes and colors and stuff. And it was a learning process. We figured out at the end, when the home was all built, that there were some things that we wish we had done that we missed kind of doing. So
yes, we were kind of in like a transitionary system too of working in an old way of picking things and a new way with new and improved technology, but the technology wasn't all the way up to par with what we needed it to be to make all of these choices. And so that and where is we had the learning lesson and just things that we know we want to think about next time.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say one of the major features of that house when it comes to the designer finishes is the engineered hardwood. That has been a fan favorite, a buyer favorite.
Yes, it was actually so popular that, so it's the Points East collection, and it was specifically the Asheville color that we were like obsessed with. We were recommending it for everybody, and it went up in cost. And so we actually worked with our flooring supplier to find a very similar looking floor that was available at a lower investment, just because we knew that it was going to be the most popular selection and we didn't want it to be cost prohibitive because it was really going to just elevate the design.
So the Asheville, if I were to like describe it, it's just kind of like a very warm, natural floor. So it's not like that washed out type of natural. It's very much in that like kind of honey tones, I would say, without leaning too orange, obviously. Mm-hmm. And then it does have some of that like as an engineered hardwood, it has that top layer of wood veneer. So you are going to get some of those like knots and some of that movement that is very characteristic of solid hardwood.
Yeah, without having to kind of deal with the negatives that come with having solid hardwood, especially in a humid climate like we are here in Pennsylvania, that humid summers, cool winters can really affect a solid hardwood product with buckling and just kind of those different changes.
Gapping, swelling.
Yeah.
Another kind of characteristic of this floor is the wider plank width. I want to say it's like a 6.5, 7 inch width.
I think it's 7 to 7.5. It's pretty wide, and that really helps to fill out. The Essington has a large open concept. So having the planks on the floor being wider, it really helps to kind of fill out the space and you don't feel like you have a busy visual when you're kind of looking across the whole home plan. Designer
trick number 1 of the day.
Exactly. Yes. That's a good point. Designer trick number 1.
If you have a large open space, a wider plank is going to make that space feel larger. A smaller plank, like Katie said, is going to look a little bit more distracting and it might cause you to notice the floor a little bit more, whereas you'll actually feel the space will feel larger with a larger plank. Mm-hmm.
Same goes for tile visuals and stuff. The other thing for this model home that kind of drove our color selections is, and this could probably actually be more in line with what our clients face too, is that we already had the furnishing for this house before we designed the house. We were using furnishings from a previous model home. So we kind of had furniture that we were designing around, things that we were coordinating to, which really kind of pushed us in the direction that we went in for the color selections throughout the house and kind of that transitional design style that we really leaned into.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. That is a good point, and that's actually something we ask you during your welcome call too. Are you bringing along any special pieces of like heirloom furniture that we need to plan when making color selections for your new home, that we need to take into account when making color selections for your new home? A lot of times people say no, but there might be that one-off case where like, yeah, I have an heirloom corner cabinet or like an heirloom credenza I inherited from my great-grandmother from Oklahoma that needs to come and the floor needs to coordinate to it. That's very important to share with Katie and I when you're designing your home.
I just love that she's from Oklahoma. Oklahoma.
The Dust Bowl, baby. And that's my knowledge of Oklahoma.
I don't have any, just the Oklahoma musical.
What if I'm in the wrong state and it's actually Kansas that had the Dust Bowl?
I don't know. Google. Okay, sidetracked, but so we have this home plan is one of the largest that we offer. So there were a lot of spaces where we kind of had to challenge ourselves into like, how would the person living in this house potentially use these spaces? Like, what was the intent when we constructed the plan this way? So there's like that front flex room that is private. It doesn't connect to the family room, but is really nice if you do have like a formal type of entertaining where you want to have separate. You don't want them to be in your main living space. You could have kind of just like that front of the house. They don't even have to come into the rest of the house.
And actually, we talked to someone today, a buyer moving into Parkside. They mentioned that they want to use their front room as kind of like the teen hangout room. So the adults can be in the back in the main living space, and then the teens can kind of go to that front room and hang out. And that way they're not relegated to the second floor. So they're still like more a part of the action, closer to the kitchen, closer to the food. But they're not like having to go upstairs, and then they have their own space too and can be watching their own TV or playing their own games, doing whatever they're doing in there.
That's a great point. And specifically, I think the Essington has a really good sight line from the kitchen to that flex room, that it could potentially be like a perfect playroom where you're still working in the kitchen, but you can see them in there. Yeah.
I just want to mention how grand and large that entry feels on the Essington. It is so wide of a foyer. It really leaves a lot of space. Like if you have big groups coming kind of at the same time, like a big family all arriving at the same time, it's not going to feel cramped in that entrance. And I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot with a lot of new construction homes, is so much of the living is done in the back that we kind of forget to really make a statement at the entrance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really wide. And the flex room there has this super long, almost 10-foot cased opening. And then it kind of opens up into the staircase. So that also really helps like that grandeur feel. You have like that visual when you come in the front door of your upper railing, if you choose to do the railing there. But otherwise, it's still just really, really open. In this particular house, we wanted to dress the dining room up a little bit. So we did a colonial style chair rail with a really dramatic statement, like lantern linear type of chandelier. It's kind of one of the most show-stopping light fixtures that we offer through the design studio. And we put it prominently in the front of this house to really set the mood.
Yeah, and I'd say we kind of went with the black. Like we weren't full modern farmhouse, right? But we did do like a little bit more high contrast elements. Once we get to the kitchen, we'll talk more about this. But this fixture in particular, it is a darker finish. The exact name of the finish is escaping me at this moment, of course.
Smith steel?
Smith steel, yes, yeah. The Smith steel finish, which looks like almost a black type of metal. And it kind of just stands out a little bit more against your EG smooth white ceiling and the accent wall paint that we have throughout this house as well.
Mm-hmm. It's also because it's like the Smith steel finish rather than like a matte black or an oil rub bronze. It has more of like a handcrafted kind of appearance. Like it looks like it's been hammered by a smith, a blacksmith, a smith.
Hence the name, Smith steel.
Yeah, exactly right. It also has like open to like the candelabra light fixture kind of inside there. So really pretty kind of classic look to it.
Mm-hmm. And then we did the colonial wainscoting.
Yes.
Kind of looks like little picture frames on the wall.
I love that.
And the benefit of that is not only does it look beautiful, but it also serves to protect your walls, because anytime you add wainscoting, that's going to be a semi-gloss paint finish. Your semi-gloss paint finish, it is a washable finish paint. So if kids move their chairs out, bump into the walls, you can actually wipe that down a little bit easier than you can your wall paint.
Mm-hmm. While we kind of touched on this at the beginning, but things that we missed, I wish we had paired this beautiful colonial style wainscoting with a just as beautiful crown molding to
Agreed.
really just kind of, again, draw your eye up. We have that beautiful statement chandelier. Missed opportunity to do to do the crown molding in there. But this dining room then opens up to a very functional butler's pantry, because we all have butlers, right? A butler's pantry, or like secondary kind of workspace, or just a good spot to like put out the food or whatever you kind of have if you're entertaining a larger group.
Your auxiliary appliances that you maybe use on a daily basis, but you don't want to have to put away that often. Great place for a coffee bar. We are using it at the Parkside model.
I actually see that right there.
Keurig station there. Your Nespresso. I personally have quite a few coffee makers. So, having an extra place for all, depending on what mood I'm in, which type of coffee I want to make, having all of the spaces to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is actually, so what we have in the model home is all cabinetry, but we introduced now the ability to remove one of those cabinets and have an opening if you wanted to have a beverage fridge. I know some people do that fridge in the garage, but if you want to have like wine inside, and if you have like a dinner party or something, this feels like the dinner party house. I would totally have dinner parties if I lived in an Essington.
Imagine everybody brings a plate, right? Yeah. It's like crock pot style, and everything can plug in right there in this caterer's pantry. Maybe we should rebrand it today. Caterer's pantry.
Caterer's pantry. And we're going to get yelled at. No.
And then as far as cabinet colors, so we chose very neutral colors and for the cabinetry in this house. So in the caterer's pantry, the butler's pantry, and the island, we have the portobello. Again, another customer favorite. Mm-hmm. And I want to say what I personally love about the portobello paired with the Asheville floor is that the colors are really cohesive and they work well together, but then they're still different wood varieties and species that you can tell they are different materials installed on different viewing planes, flooring horizontal, cabinetry vertical. So they really just work very well together to warm up the space, and it looked like it was very intentional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think too, we didn't really give this house a name, but if we had to, it would be what Steph said just a little bit earlier in the episode, a modern farmhouse. We wanted it to feel modern, with like the finishes and kind of like the detailing. So there's more clean straight lines. We used a shaker style cabinet, but farmhouse that you have natural elements, matte black accents, and then your wood tone on the island, I think, is one of those like kind of hallmark farmhouse type of hallmarks.
And another improvement we did to the Essington home plan in general is if you ever visit this Parkside model home, you may notice that the cabinetry on the island opens toward the dishwasher. We actually kind of rotated that island so that the cabinetry will now open to the range or cooktop, depending on the kitchen package you elect. And that's because we got a lot of feedback that for the most part, people may keep their dishwasher open more regularly than they're opening their oven, for example. So accessing the cabinetry across from the dishwasher was a little bit more cumbersome than having it directly behind you when working at the stove or cooktop, which also enables you to put some drawers in that cabinet. And then you have easier access to like pot and pans and stuff that you might want to use at that space.
Mm-hmm. Moving into the kitchen of this house, the package that we chose for the appliances was the culinary package. And I think that kind of was a strategic choice based on the fact that we kind of see this as your entertainer's house or your dinner party house. So if you have two people using the kitchen at one time, you've separated, because now you have a cooktop instead of a range oven, you have separated somebody accessing the baked goods or the roast in the oven and somebody sauteing the vegetables, preparing the sauce on the stove.
This was also at the time we planned this house, our largest floor plan that we offered. So I think we were like, this big boy home plan needs the big boy kitchen.
Yes.
We got to pair them together. Or the big girl kitchen, maybe.
Big girl kitchen. And then we have a beautiful stainless steel chimney hood above I think the backsplash on this model home is probably one of the most unique that we have done
Agreed.
in a model home. It's like a lattice type of style, but inside the lattice is a honed marble, and then what kind of creates the lattice is like a wood looking stone. So it's a really interesting material because you have two different natural elements in it.
Yeah, I think it's called Marabella Lynx, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very, like Katie said, very beautiful. And it also kind of brings in that organic feel and kind of ties in very nicely to the Portobello cabinet.
Yeah, it really did. It was like, were these meant to go together? They are now.
Oh, another statement piece we did for this kitchen was the apron style farmhouse sink, the Kohler Whitehaven model. Again, highly requested buyer item. It really is a showstopper. It's just a beautiful piece to kind of finish off. And this lends itself both to the farmhouse style, but to many other styles. At this point in time, I want to say a farmhouse style sink is a pretty timeless look. Especially when it's done in white. And white is going to be very neutral and go with most color palettes that you can design for your new home.
So we talked about the island color, but the perimeter of the kitchen we did in a really subtle white. It's called frosty white, different than the kind of whites that are in tier 2 where you have a more stark Arctic white. That was like word vomit.
You got it out though. You did good.
A more stark Arctic white. I think it's now a tongue twister. And then a warmer antique white. This is kind of right in the middle of those two. Frosty white is really soft and subtle, lends itself to your kind of farmhouse design because it's not stark white, it's softer. And then we paired it with a more transitional or traditional style of
cabinet hardware.
Yeah. My hand.
I'm watching what she's doing. I'll translate.
Thank you. So we did like the tiered kind of style in the matte black finish, which I personally really like this one. I think it gives you nice room to put your hand, but it also stands off the cabinet and gives a little bit of a detail that you have to notice. You have to like look at it to kind of see it.
Yeah. Another kind of great feature about the Essington home plan in general is the spacious owner's entry. So kind of coming in off of the garage there, you're going to have a very dedicated drop zone. And you can add some optional cubbies for that space. You could bring a piece of furniture and do, furniture storage in the future, but you will have a coat closet that comes there. And this is great for very active households. Maybe you got to throw a backpack down, a lacrosse stick, whatever you need to just be able to grab and walk out the door. You're going to have plenty of space to have that there.
I really like in this plan that you have the option to add the cubbies, but you still have this enormous coat closet. I know me, I always have so many winter coats that I never want to put in a closet. So it's nice that you have a really large closet there and very convenient access to your powder room. Who else
comes home from the grocery store and immediately has to go to the bathroom?
Exactly. It's like, I'll just wait till I get home. I gotta go. So if you visit the Parkside model home, you'll see that the powder room is really large. It's not normally that big. We kind of enhanced it so that it could be ADA compliant, get your wheelchair in there and turn it around, but it would not normally come that large. It's more of a compact.
Yeah, in fact, normally you would have an extra closet for your butler's pantry area. So even more storage in that butler's pantry and just more storage in general for the Essington, which I think this home plan, if you have things, this home plan has places to put your things.
Yes. Bigger houses for more things. Also has a really cool office tucked behind the kitchen. I almost kind of forget that this part of the house exists because most of the houses, it's like you have all of this space and then it just stops at your kitchen. But no, you have a whole nother room that could be a guest bedroom.
I think that's why I love this space is because it's so functional depending on what your needs and lifestyle are.
But it still feels private. So like if you are a person who works from home and needs like that really dedicated focus time, but maybe you have your kids at home with you, it feels more secluded because it is kind of tucked behind everything. I don't feel like it's going to be as something where you hear so much in the background or anything. And then you
Absolutely.
have a really large walk-in pantry there as well.
Yeah, which we've actually enhanced the Essington plan to now include a larger pantry than what you would see in the Essington model home. And again, that's because biggest home plan, we had to give her the best kitchen, the best amount of storage. You got your big old Costco closet for all your Costco shopping. You're definitely going to have a place to put all your extra rolls of toilet paper.
Why did we move away from that branding? I remember that was like a 2016, 2015. It was the Costco closet. Costco, baby, we still go. All right, into the family room. So we're walking through the virtual tour. So we're very much moving through the kitchen into the family room. Steph, do you want to start us off with your favorite thing about this family room or what we missed in the family room?
Ooh, my favorite thing. I know we have the same answer for what we missed, but my favorite thing is definitely the balance and symmetry of having the fireplace with the built-in bookcases with cabinets below flanking on either side. Something about just the visual framing of having everything be symmetrical on that wall of the house. It's just so pleasing and so aesthetically on point. That I just love it. It's like the icing on the cake for our model homes.
Yeah, I love the symmetry, and it's a good place to stash and store things as well, definitely. We missed doing a picture window. So we have a gorgeous view. We have a gorgeous view out of the back of this model home, but we left the included 2 windows in there. And now our sales agent, Craig, we love you. He will not let us forget it. And every single buyer that comes through is like, Craig made us buy the picture window. And we're like, good, he should have made us buy it.
In this space, we did kind of do a rough-in for a ceiling fan. We like to recommend doing that in case you like to have that air circulating, but none would come included for that space. Can we talk about what a moment the swivel chair is having right now?
Oh my gosh, I love the swivel chair that she put in the corner of this room. Like, it has a gold base on it. I can't turn there properly, but it looks, I just want that chair.
I
want to
know.
sit on it all the time. I think what another thing we would have added to a family room this size, and I would recommend this to buyers, is a floor receptacle. We did not do a floor receptacle, so we've got like cords kind of coming underneath the couch and plugging in. And when we were hosting the Parade of Homes at this model, we actually had to just unplug it. So we didn't have any auxiliary lighting in the family room during that parade because we didn't want people tripping over the cord that was coming there. So that is something that we would have done in this model home too, kind of placed a floor receptacle so that we could float that couch off the wall. That makes your room look bigger, actually.
Yes. Design tip of the day number 2.
Design tip of the day number 2. Float your couch if you have the space because it's going to make your room feel bigger. And rich people have their couches in the middle of the room.
That's an Instagram reel reference.
Not my own personal belief.
We also added some great outdoor living space to this model home. So kind of depending on the plan and your lifestyle, sometimes we like to recommend waiting on doing outdoor living space if you're not really sure what you want or how you're going to use that space. However, if you think you do want to put some into the initial build, and what is important to do or to consider doing up front is anything that may have a roof over it. So those would be the ones that I would give priority to. Things that don't have a roof, like a patio or a deck, they can always be done later. Items that are a little harder to do, but still possible, obviously, through E.G. Solstice remodeling, would be any type of covered deck or covered patio. So on this model home, we did not forego the outdoor living space. We did add on the covered deck option. We did a little seating area out there, little outdoor rug, just real cute, serene, enjoy the outdoor space as much as possible and kind of the nice view from this model home.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a gorgeous cathedral ceiling. The thing I would recommend, knowing that I personally love to sit outside, but I absolutely hate bugs. And if there's a bug that bites me, because I'm basically bug repellent to everybody else, they come to me.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. If there's a bug, I'm like out of there. I'm done. I'm not outside anymore. So I would definitely recommend that if you can do it, screen in your outdoor living space so that you can enjoy it without having to worry about those nasty mosquitoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another cool thing that we did still on the first floor is to the finished basement, we took away the solid door and we did a 15 light glass door to be like, come down here. There's something interesting down here. So you kind of see the finish of the basement before you actually go down there. I like that we added that touch, and that we've gotten feedback that that's a really neat touch as well. So way to go, Steph.
Moving upstairs, we did do the craftsman railing. And normally there would be just a kind of a small portion of railing. So E.G. Stoltzfus, as a builder, we do include some railing, usually at the main staircase area. But as you go upstairs, that would become a half wall. Here we elected the optional railing. Katie mentioned that earlier. But another unique feature about the Essington is we have the high foyer light as well above the staircase. And this style of staircase where it kind of turns, makes almost a U shape, sometimes we refer to that as a switchback staircase. I love switchbacks because they're more interesting than a straight run, especially when they point toward the back of the house, because then it makes your entry, so you're kind of walking into more of a dedicated foyer space instead of walking in and seeing the staircase. So
just come down in your knickers.
Exactly. So just something to think about as you're determining which home plan works best for you.
Yeah, I like that it includes that other light up there, another show-stopping statement, please, for when you do send your children up to the loft area. Get out of here, go up to the loft. There's a whole loft upstairs. We have it kind of as our game zone, with a TV on the wall and a nice couch in there and a game table. You may visit the model home and see that we changed this space. We also don't always get it right the first time, so we sometimes go back and say, this doesn't work here exactly, so we wanted to change it out. The Essington has a second floor laundry room, which I think is very functional because all of the bedrooms are upstairs.
Yes.
I only like a first floor laundry room if my bedroom's down there. But it's a really big laundry room, and you actually have the option to add cabinetry and a secondary sink up there. Mm-hmm. So we didn't do that, but because no one's living there. But if you know, like all four of my kids, they're all boys and they play football. Well, you're probably gonna have a lot of laundry to do, and you probably need a second sink up there, maybe.
Well, a lifestyle thing to think through, actually. You talk about location of laundry room. I actually like to fold my laundry in front of the television. So, well, the Essington would work great because you have the loft. So as long as I'd have a table there and a TV to watch while I fold, that would be great. But otherwise, a first floor laundry room, if you're like me and you fold the laundry, once a week when you can get to it, and it's in front of the television, maybe a first floor laundry room would be preferable for your lifestyle.
Yeah, I actually have always heard Craig say that if there is like somebody that's homemaking and staying home, they probably would want the laundry room to be on the main living level because that's where they're going to be doing their day-to-day. They're going to be cooking the meals down there. They don't want to have to run up to the second floor just to change over the laundry. So 2 in one and 6 in one, half a dozen in the other.
Let's head into the owner's bedroom, where we have probably the world's largest walk-in closet. It's amazing, ladies.
Going and going and going.
From one fashionista to another, you need this closet.
So big, it has 2 lights.
We just started offering the option to do some more closet shelving. We don't have this in the model home, but let me tell you, that will greatly enhance the ability of your closet to work for you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. This room is also just really big in itself. There's a lot of floor space, nice open area to like walk around the bed. We have a king size bed in there. God, it looks like you could even have a larger bed.
California king.
Yeah, exactly. And we did a cathedral ceiling in this model home, which being on the second floor, the ceiling height is 8 feet. This makes the room feel even larger that we opened it up to a cathedral.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because on every second floor, we will have 8-foot ceilings. So for your owner's bedroom, when it's upstairs, that's a nice touch to give it like an added designer feel, would be to do an optional tray or cathedral ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Moving into our luxurious owner's bathroom, the retreat bath. So this bathroom has a soaking tub in it, really nice and deep. soaking tub kind of centered underneath a window. So it's a really beautiful moment. I can just imagine relaxing there. And then on the other side of that, you have a 4-foot fully tiled shower. So nice, really beautiful tile. We did kind of like an accent band in here with a glass tile that's cooler than the gray we did on the tile, which I think really helps to kind of like give it that spa feel.
Exactly. Yeah, like a natural water type of feel.
Yeah.
It is, the colors are so relaxing. They are cool. They do lean toward the grays, but they are still just so relaxing and like inviting.
Mm-hmm. And then this particular plan on the Essington, the retreat bathroom, splits the vanities in half and kind of has the linen closet on an angle in the corner. Regardless of the bathroom package that you pick, you have 2 separate vanities, which is really nice.
Yeah, so that means that his beard hairs won't be on your sink.
And you can each have your own tube of toothpaste.
Please do that anyways. Just a suggestion.
And then a separate place for the toilet. We don't have a door on this, but just still nice to have the toilet kind of separate.
Let's head into the bedroom that has the ensuite bath next, which is located closest to the owners. Not much to say about the bedroom space here. We stage it as like a cute little princess room because it has the ensuite bath. So obviously she would want to have her bathroom attached. That would be like every teen girl's dream.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. And then it has a walk-in closet. I actually think, don't all the bedrooms on this plan have a walk-in closet?
Yeah.
So no one really gets gypped with their closet. And they all have a bathroom attached, whether it's attached and then also goes to the hallway or attached as a Jack and Jill. You have a bathroom right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. The other 2 bedrooms on the opposite wing of the house. So that kind of ensuite bath. Well, they're all ensuite, but the Jack and Jill bath is opposite the owners, which is kind of maybe where you would put the kids and then maybe do the guests in the one closest to the owners. Just because the kids could then share the Jack and Jill in another layout here.
Yeah, that full bathroom we talked about first had a shower in it.
Yeah.
And then the Jack and Jill has a tub shower. So, but still, I really like that it's just a super long double vanity in there and then a separate room for your toilet and tub. So,
2 people could be using that bath at the same time.
Yep, absolutely. Getting ready. And then we did optional doors throughout this house to, again, kind of play into that transitional modern farmhouse. They're reminiscent of the kitchen cabinetry with the recessed center panel, 2-panel, and it had like a bevel on it. It's called the Logan door style. So it's kind of like our least detailed door.
Yes. Yeah, agreed.
And then matte black hardware on all of the doors throughout. We did the levers. I love the levers.
I know.
I would recommend levers to everybody. If you're busy and you always have your hands full, the levers are easy. And then if you're older and have like limited dexterity, another great benefit is that you don't have to grip anything.
Exactly. The levers are Katie's picture window.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. Well said.
And then in this model home, we also showed a finished basement just so buyers could get a sense of like what that space would feel like. So typically when you add a finished basement, that space would include carpet on the stairs, downstairs, and then carpet on the finished area as well. And then we would use a drop ceiling for that finished basement so you can access like any plumbing lines, gas lines, things that are going to be in that floor system that you might want to service or access later on.
The colors that we did for the model home downstairs, it's actually doesn't come across in this tour, but it was like a blue color carpet that we did, a textured blue carpet. So darker, that you're not going to have to worry about like getting a stain on it, especially if this is the area where you're like, go downstairs for the kids. And then there's also a half bathroom down there on this particular option that we did. So you have an area to watch TV, and then you can also run to the bathroom quickly too. And you don't lose out. The basement itself goes under the whole house. So even though we finished a portion of it, there's still so much room to store your things.
Yes. Yeah, that is the benefit of the superior wall basement foundation, is that you will have the square footage from the main floor. You'll have that in the basement as well. So much storage for that unfinished area.
And then this particular one was a walkout basement, so there's even more natural light coming in.
Wonderful. Well, here at AG Stoltzfus, we believe that done right, a new home changes people's lives, yours and ours. It changes yours by enriching and enhancing your life and your lifestyle. It changes ours too, seeing the impact of a new home has. We feel a responsibility to do it right. That's why working on your home will never be just a job to us.
Oh, that's so cute. Thanks for spending your day with us. Enjoy our little modern farmhouse at Parkside.
Bye now.
Bye.